On va continuer avec la soirée. Je vous présente encore une fois, faites du bruit pour Roen. Roen, do you think, girl?
You didn't think you were cold as ice, sis. You didn't think you were cold as ice, sis. But if you ain't part of the solution, you're part of the crisis. So let's dice this. You say you don't hate and you have no malicious intent, but there is disparity in negligence. It's lethal to a people when you sit on the fence, and when terror sweeps, you spit lukewarm statements and shallow memes just like sheep. People start praying for Paris, but then they remember to pray for the world, and somewhere over the rainbow, others making breaking promises, leaving everyone with their lame posts, wasting time, line, waiting on standby for Captain America to save our people. Well, it's like this. Living behind the masks has not only concealed our true identity from the world, but from ourselves. We have confused who we are and who we are supposed to be. We wear a costume that infers a new identity. For example, the force wears blue, which represents that they will serve and protect their community, but now they launch artillery at the innocent, tase away their security, beat them with their powerful staff, aka baton. If they choose to spare these mutants' lives, they cage them like wild animals, sometimes for life, for a crime of being different. They are part of a team, and on their chest they wear a badge that they are Justice League of Peace, but sometimes they get choked by their own capes of power and are now villains in blue unitards. These we call the Beast. Like many others, they fear us because we are mutants, aliens, strangers of this world. We are called to be bold and fearless. However, we have allowed our spirits to be broken, our voices to be silenced, and now we have become our own worst enemy. While the revolution is being televised, we sit and watch as their blood dries on the concrete, as children wash up at the shore as a result of civil war, and we say a prayer for lives lost, as people are ripped from their mothers' wombs, their homes, families, countries, and all we say is R.I.P. We see a storm and run for cover. We see a storm and run for cover like the man of steel, just hard and cold. We would never stand up and be counted in the front line of justice because that would mean we're just too rogue. And where is our lasso of truth in the time where the world is in the days of future past? What will you say at the last when we are supposed to be acting like first class, but when it's time to be heard, we are last? It is said that the last will be first and the first will be last, but when trouble strikes, we are just low-key. This to me is a mystery, leaving my brain screaming, Thor, Thor, thorn of my flesh, Thor, Thor, thorn of my flesh is watching everyone else walk by with ignorance while I make it my mission to fight for my brethren. How can I stand by and live without a fight? I guess that's what happens when you understand your why. I cannot witness an injustice and stay silent. This fuels my every action, reminds me of my purpose. Then I am reminded that I'm not meant to be an ordinary human. Fuming, like the Hulk, my emotions override my intelligence, and learning to hone it makes me realize that I am fallible. Just like men who get charmed, romanced by the mystiques of this world, not realizing that those distractions are their kryptonite, that they have taken the prescription of Dr. Doom, and they have become the spawn of hell. Boy, hell has no fury like a woman scorned. No wonder women cry for their X-Men. No wonder why women cry for their X-Men. Manhunter, Manhunter. No wonder women cry for their X-Men while like Panther they prowl, a night crawler, become bait, making them the best fishers of men unlike us. Manhunter, Jezebel, this black widow will make any Iron Man rust bite their heads off with venom as she continues to spy with her hawk eye to find her Mr. Incredible. But thank God, we can find our strength in helping others find their own. Turn flaws into qualities, disabilities into abilities. while recognizing our powers are finite. That's why we build a team. Accept our limitations as an opportunity to heal and make productivity a priority. He's our shield in this time of war. A stark reality of prophecy. Just find faith in knowing that we have an origin story that connects us to a greater responsibility. So stop being a lover of self and all things temporary. Let our cause fuel our movements. When you get drained, connect to the source and start the process of recalibration. Do not get brainwashed by false doctrines or the government. I pray we find the strength and stay woke. As they set traps, we don't ever fall for them. So remember, we are here to be extraordinary. We were not created to be supermen, but that's why we reboot daily. 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 That's why we reboot daily, 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 daily. To be a reflection. It may be fantastic for our imagination to think ourselves invincible or omnipotent, but the ego is our enemy. The ego is our enemy, and we are not here for self, but humanity. It's one thing to know we have supernatural powers and that we are working for others who despise us. Yeah, that hurts. But to watch our own people conceal their true identity in fear that they will have to use their gifts at the cost of being an outcast, run like the Flash when there's an unexpected setback, not recognizing the fact that this interruption is an opportunity to demonstrate your powers, your faith, makes me mad to the max. So this poem is about my frustration of how my superhero team that was meant to help the world got broken because they forgot that he sent him to be an avenger for our sins. That we can reflect him not to profess or explain our opinion. Wasting time lying while people die. But to be the way and the truth and the lie is why we fight. To save the world, to love and show compassion. Instead, we've become the villain instead of a Christian.